한국계 스타, 스타트랙 더 비기닝에 출연하면서 우리나라에서도 본격적으로 주목받기 시작한 할리우드의 스타입니다. 존 조 씨.
안녕하세요. 존 조입니다. 반갑습니다. 고향에 와서 너무 좋아요.
네. 한국말로 인사를 해주셨어요. 이 스타트랙 더 비기닝이 전 세계를 강타한 지금 흥행몰이를 기록하고 있는 중이거든요. 이 영화가 워낙 대작인데 어떻게 이 영화에 출연하시게 됐는지 그거부터 좀 여쭤볼까요?
Yes. When I heard that J.J. Abrams was directing Star Trek, I contacted them through my agents immediately and pursued it. Mainly because when I was a child, growing up in America, there weren't many Asian Americans on television that I could be proud of. But my brother and I loved, seeing George Takei on television because he was an Asian man who wasn't doing the typical stuff. It was a very proud representation, so I wanted to very much to be connected to that legacy.
스타트랙 더 오리지널 시리즈 보면은 원래 그 슬루 역이 일본인이잖아요.
네.
제가 이 기사를 보니까 이런 기사가 났어요. 에이브럼스 감독이 순전히 존 조의 매력에 빠져서 캐스팅했다 이렇게 돼 있던데 어떤 매력 때문에 캐스팅된 거라고 생각하세요?
Well, that's very nice for him to say. Actually, I'm very happy that I was cast. As an actor, I would like to think that I could play any Asian role if the role doesn't call for an accent or something like that. I know I grew up with my parents really disliking when Koreans were not represented well on shows like MASH. So if I could not do it, then I would bow out. But I felt that my ethnicity didn't have any relevance to this particular role.
성장 과정에 대해서 얘기를 좀 해보죠. 6살 때 이민 가서 미국에서 성장하시면 소수민족이기 때문에 어려운 점이 많았을 것 같은데 특별히 어려운 점이 있으셨나요?
You know, what the experience of moving to America is this. When you're a child, your heroes are your mother and your father.
Yes.
And they look like you. And then you move somewhere and they tell you that people that look like you are not your heroes. And that's the experience over and over. They say people that look like you are foolish or they're not attractive or any number of things. And it takes, you have to rise to the occasion and battle that internally to tell yourself that's wrong information.
So did your parents try to remind you kind of Korean heritage or Korean identity, or you yourself tried to?
They reminded me, and almost to the point where, as a boy, I said, okay, enough, I understand. But yes, they were very diligent in instilling a sense of Korean pride in me.
조한조 씨도 무명 시절이 있었겠죠. 그래서 저희가 그 무명 시절의 영화를 좀 보고 다음 주제에 대해서 얘기를 좀 해볼까요?
Okay.
Welcome. I'm Carolyn Burnham. This living room is very dramatic.
American Beauty.
Wait till you
The MILF. The hell's that? MILF. Mom, I'd like to. Yeah, dude. Oh, yeah. MILF. 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 Dude, hey, dude, what are you doing to her, dude?
네. 보니까 어떠세요?
If you want to torture an actor, make him watch himself.
Yes, I agree. 무명 시절에 누구나 이제 어려움이 있잖아요. 영화에서 보면은 아시아계 영화인들이 연기를 할 때 보면은 항상 그 특정의 역할이 있거든요. 조금은 모자란 듯하고 조금은 그 웃긴 이런 역할을 하는 이유가 어디 있다고 보세요?
The one thing that an actor can do is to say no. And it is the most powerful tool that we have. If someone says, here's a role that is insulting to your race or your ethnicity or your nation, then you can say, I'm not going to do it. And it's a very powerful statement. People don't expect it from an actor. People don't think actors have the right to say no. And when we say no, because we are colleagues and work in the same profession, that they take notice. In fact, one colleague saying no is so much more effective than 10,000 people in the public who write letters, because I think someone whose face they know, whose name they know, saying this is wrong catches their attention much more than the public.
So did you say no every time?
I tried, yes, I did. I don't. I can look back at every role I did and say, I'm okay with that. And even when I was starting out, my measuring stick was an imaginary 12-year-old me watching television at home. And if I felt that 12-year-old John Cho was going to be okay with that, then I would say yes. And if I thought he would be embarrassed, then I would say no.
아무래도 무명을 딛고 연기자로 인정받기 시작한 것은 2004년이었죠. 하롤드 앤 쿠마라는 영화를 통해서였던 것 같은데 그 영화를 보면은 명문대에서 영문학을 전공했다고 믿기지 않을 만큼 상당히 코믹한 역할을 하셨거든요. 그래서 해롤드 역을 맡게 되셨을 때 혹시 주저하진 않으셨나요?
Well, here's whose career I think I would love to have. As an Asian American, I think I look up to a guy like Will Smith, who went from comedy to action and really redefined, in a financial sense, what is possible for a man of color in the United States, and became an international phenomenon and changed all the rules. And so, again, going back to my goals of what I would like to achieve by the time I'm done, if I could leave 1/10 of the mark that he has on the world, and then I would be very, very happy.
스타트랙 더 비기닝을 찍고서 존조 씨가 에이브럼스 감독에 대해서 극찬을 했다는 기사를 읽었거든요. 다른 감독 중에도 내가 이 감독하고는 꼭 작업을 해보고 싶다 이런 감독이 있으세요?
So many. J.J. Abrams was indeed a pleasure to work with. I've always wanted to work with the Coppolas. I'm such a fan of both Francis Coppola and Sofia Coppola. Mr. Park, of course, who directed Old Boy.
Oh, yes,
Yes,
Korean.
he's a master, really.
Did you see that film?
Yes, he's. Yes, I mean, what can I say except that he's also a person who seems to be, from what I can tell, completely in control of his art form. He's every aspect of his filmmaking is so unified and so interesting and creative and unusual. He's someone who I would definitely want to work with.
가장 최근에 본 한국 영화가 어떤 거세요?
I just saw that movie on the plane called something sweet like something 거짓말.
달콤한
Yeah, it was a
이보?
comedy. Yeah, the lead actress was very, very good. Park Chin-hee. Yeah, she was very, very good. I enjoyed that very much. There's a lot of Korean. Every time I see a Korean film, there's a great, very creative concept. And Old Boy, you look at the concept in one paragraph. I'm sure you could have seen that movie just summarized in a few sentences and went, "This is going to be a great movie." And there's so many great concepts. I'm not sure why there's so many ideas coming out of here, and I wish that I could get in on it because the creativity level is startling.
한국의 배우로서 할리우드에서 성공하기 위해서는 아시아 지역에서 인기가 있는 것이 상당히 도움이 된다 이런 얘기들을 하거든요. 그런 차원에서 고향인 한국에 대해서 조금 더 신경을 쓴다면 어떨까 싶은데요.
And you're right in that international notoriety helps my career situation in Los Angeles, and I think sometimes people think it's the reverse, that notoriety in Hollywood helps across the world, but it's very much the opposite way as well. So that if there's an audience if you have an audience internationally, then it really helps your standing in Hollywood as well.
네, 우리나라 사람들이 원래 서로를 상당히 사랑하고 응원하는 편이거든요. 그래서 존조 씨가 한국계라는 이유 때문에 많은 분들이 존조 씨에게 성원을 보내고 있습니다. 그래서 한국민들에게도 특별히 각별한 애정이 있으실 것 같고 이 프로그램을 마치면서 드릴 얘기가 있을 것 같아요.
Here's what I'd like to say to Koreans. I feel that everything, as I look back at it, as I get older and I look back, I realize that the things inside me that help me survive and help me be successful can be traced to my being Korean. I feel like there is through my parents, there is a fire, a drive, a willingness to work hard. All those things that were given to me through them are a result of me being Korean. So I really thank Korea, my culture and my country for giving me the abilities, you know, to work hard. I really feel that everything good that I have to offer is connected to my culture. I really do.
많은 한국인들이 존조 씨를 응원할 거고요. 앞으로도 한국계의 대표적인 스타로서 좋은 영화인, 훌륭한 영화인으로 남으시기 바랍니다. 오늘 이렇게 시간 내주셔서 대단히 감사합니다. Thank you for sharing your precious time.
Thank you very much.
And I remember this
Yes.
in Star Trek: The Beginning.
Yes.
Live long,
Live
and
long
prosper.
and prosper.
I hope.
Yes,
Wish.
thank you.
Thank you.
감사합니다.
감사합니다.